Hello and welcome to another video. So we're going to take a look at the new cards and the new effect. So starting us off, we're introducing the new keyword effect. This has been known for a little while because it was half leaked, kind of, I guess you could say. It was called materialization, but they have called it evocation. So not surprising, honestly, since we already pretty much knew about it, but it does allow you to play cards directly from your deck by satisfying special requirements. Even if you have multiple copies of the same card in your deck, activating invocation will only put one copy into play. So, starting us off, we've got the first card, which was the kind of preview card for that, which is Flores. So a 4-drop, 5/3 gold, Bloodcraft card. It's pretty decent, I guess. It's got the invocation, that's the only way I can say that. During your turn, if your leader has taken damage for the 4th time this turn, put a Flores from your deck into play. Last word, restore 3 defense to your leader. So a pretty decent last word effect to go along with this card. Being a 4-drop 5/3 is okay, and if you can get this to go off pretty easily, you should be right, especially with things like Parish and low cost stuff, so should be an interesting addition. Then we have Prophetess of Creation, a 20-drop 20/20. So clearly designed to be dropped as a 20-drop on board, which is crazy, so definitely an invocation card. It does have Accelerate 10 and also is Runecraft. So Excel 10 is a draw a card, put a Prophecy of Creation into your deck, recover 9 play points. It effectively becomes an Excel 1. It just limits the fact that you have to play this turn 10 or later, so it's definitely a very late game card, and not surprising considering it's Excel 10 draw a card, so it is literally just becoming a draw card. Of course, putting one of these back into the deck, so might be an okay one-of in a control style rune, but I don't think we'll see a control style rune very heavily. In Unlimited, you've got the chance to use this in Daria, which could be absolutely nuts, especially with originally costing being a big player for its invocation, which is at the end of your turn, put a Prophetess of Creation from your deck into play if you've played cards that originally cost 1 right through to 10 play points this match. Can't be targeted by enemy spells and effects, can't be destroyed by enemy spells and effects, but can be destroyed by damage from effects or attacks. So important fact that it can be destroyed by damage from effects or attacks. Then we have can't be targeted by enemy spells and effects, of course, for its Evo, and it just gets full Evo stats, which on this card would be pretty pointless. Then we have the Dragon Omen, which is a few of the cards we haven't looked at for a little bit. So the Omen of Disdain is a 5-drop 5/5 fanfare, enhance 7, deal 1 damage to all followers. Whenever this follower takes damage during your turn, if this follower is not destroyed, evolve it. Whenever this follower takes damage, if the follower is not destroyed, deal 3 damage to a random enemy follower and 3 damage to the enemy leader as its evolve effect. So the base effect is actually pretty decent. You do get the Evo, which is fairly nice considering it's got no Evo stats, so it's good to have an Evo that has a decent effect like that. So definitely a good card. I think it could be used. The Enhance 7 might make it a bit rough, but considering Dragon ramps, it shouldn't really be an issue. Then we have Apostle of Disdain, a 4-drop 1/5 Storm. Whenever this follower takes damage, if this follower is not destroyed, gain a +2, +0. So, and just a boost to a Storm follower, pretty decent as well. I don't know how we're going to get all these to work very well, but I could see them potentially working out. Then we have Disciple of Disdain. It's a 1-drop 1/1 silver fanfare, deal 1 damage to another allied follower and draw a card. Doesn't activate if no other allied followers are in play. So this one is obviously the trigger to the other 2 cards, which is pretty nice, being able to use a 1-drop trigger. Then we have the 2-drop 2/2 Servant of Disdain. Whenever this follower takes damage, if this follower is not destroyed, draw a card. So just more kind of combo synergy for taking damage and doing effects, which is fairly decent. Then we have the Servant of Silence, so the Shadowcraft Omen will be here in a moment. This is a 2-drop 2/2 fanfare, enhance 6, gain +3/+3, remove all effects from an enemy follower except changes to its attack or defense. So this archetype seems to be focusing mostly on using effects to both remove or limit your opponent's plays, which is exactly what Silence I expected to be. So, Omen of Silence, a 3-drop 3/3 Necromancy 3. Until the start of your turn, spells in your opponent's hand cost 3 play points or more. Going to be a great card for fighting Rune. I think that's going to absolutely cripple them really hard. A 3-drop 3/3 is also quite a nice stat line, so that also works out really well, and potentially could have some decent value. Then we have Disciple of Silence, a 3-drop 1/4. Another one of my favorite stat lines, a 1/4 stat line. With Ward and Enhance 6, gain +3/+3. Clash if the enemy follower has Storm or Rush, give it -2. Sorry, it's very early when I make these videos typically. Plus -0, so this one's just limiting what your opponent can do, while at the same time doing whatever you can. So if the enemy follower has Storm or Rush, so basically stopping them outright is pretty good. Apostle of Silence, a 4-drop 3/4, another good stat line. It looks like Shadow's just getting really nice statted followers. Fanfare, destroy an enemy follower with Ward, so this one's just a generic destruction of Ward follower, so not crazy good, but definitely still alright. Then we have a neutral card, Armored Troll, a 7-drop 8/7. It can only attack enemy leader, ignore enemy followers with Ward. Not too bad. I think this is going to be mostly take 2 fodder. I don't see it being huge in Unlimited. It's definitely going to be more for take 2. Then we have Dark Element, a generic blood card, so a 4-drop 4/4 silver. Fanfare, if an allied follower was destroyed this turn, deal 2 damage to an enemy follower. Last word, deal 4 damage to an enemy follower if vengeance is not active for you. So pretty decent. I mean, dealing 4 damage to your leader isn't going to be great. I'm pretty sure I said enemy follower, but it's to your leader. So you definitely want this more in vengeance activators than anything, but I'm not sure how this will play out overall. Then Bloodthirsty Hamster, a 2-drop 1/3, another really nice stat line follower, so also a blood card. Whenever your leader takes damage for the first time on each of your turns, again +1/+0. So similar to Hedgehog, it's just a slightly different activation effect, but definitely going to be a pretty nice card to play. Then we have Calamity Bringer. It's a 7-drop 7/4. Fanfare, randomly destroy 3 other followers, deal 7 damage to your leader if vengeance is not active for you. Evolve, if vengeance is active for you, randomly deal 1 damage to the leader or other followers 9 times. So the fact that this thing can hit both enemies and yourself is crazy, especially for a Bloodcraft legendary. It could be nuts with Jorm if you got 9 hits to yourself. You could deal 9 to everything else as well, so that also balances out. Definitely rough because it is vengeance activatable, so that's going to be difficult for the evolve effect. Like, I mean, having to be in vengeance and then risking taking 9 could be devastating. But overall, I think it's not a bad legendary. It's just probably not going to be played a lot. It's definitely middle of the row. Other than that though, we have cleared all the cards now, so there's definitely some interesting things. The new mechanic will definitely have some potential, as it's definitely an interesting one. I haven't seen anything like this for Shadowverse so far. We haven't really got anything that really pulls from the deck, so it's nice that we are seeing that. I mean, Reanimate basically was pulling from the grave last time, and now we got pulling from deck effects. I wouldn't be surprised if we eventually get some maybe more banishing limiting cards. I mean, we've already got ones that stop things from being banished and get destroyed instead. But I'd be more interested to see things return from banishment. That could potentially be a really interesting line of play. So hopefully you guys did enjoy this video. If you did, hit the like button and subscribe for more content. Be sure to check them out. These are great videos and a lot of fun. So till next time, see ya.